Hey, what's up, everyone? Here I am from Hawaii. In this episode, James and I will be recapping UFC 267, and we'll be talking about the one coming up in a couple days, UFC 268. Check it out.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Yamatodamashii Podcast. My name is James, joined here by Enson. Enson's in Hawaii. How's Hawaii treating you, Enson?
Awesome. I love Hawaii. I mean, I'm in the shop, as you can see, still making bracelets, and I'm here all day. But I know it's nice being in Hawaii.
Yeah. Here all night
Yeah,
as well, right? Because it's 10 p.m. and you're still making bracelets.
yeah. I got a lot of orders, which is a good thing,
Mhm.
and I pretty much get up in the morning, get a sweat, and I come in the office all day, taking orders, making orders, lining up orders, making bracelets, and then as soon as I'm done, like after I'm done with this podcast, I'm gonna go into the UFC gym, get some lifting in to
Nice.
close off my night, and then go home and go to sleep. Wake up the next morning and repeat after that.
Rinse and repeat. Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
today we thought we'd look back at the UFC that happened last weekend, and then also look forward to the one that's happening this Saturday. Two back-to-back wicked cards in terms of
Oh, I know. Yeah. How's that?
that is just crazy. That last weekend, I loved that show. I thought that was great, and it was definitely a theme to that show. Let's say maybe a Russian theme to that show. So we'll
Yeah.
we'll,
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll get into that, and then we'll look ahead at 268 with some of the fights going down there. But I guess overall, first thoughts on UFC 267. Was there a particular fight that sort of stood out to you, or performance that stood out to you? I mean, there was a few, right? But anyone that's sort of fresh in your mind?
Jan and Sanghagen.
Banger of a fight.
That was unbelievable. I mean, Sandhagen is up there with the top.
Hmm.
And the only reason why Sandhagen probably lost is because that's how good Peter Yan is. I
Yeah.
mean, that cardio monster keeps on coming, keeps on coming. Sandhagen is doing a good job tagging him in the beginning,
Hmm.
but man, it's just Peter Yan, man. It's like the Energizer Bunny just keeps coming and keep coming hard.
Hmm.
Oof. What did you
And
think about that fight?
yeah, it was crazy. Do you know what sort of crossed my mind as well was that obviously originally it was announced as Jan versus Aljo. So Sanhagen, I don't know if he like had a full proper training camp. I think he kind of said before that he had sort of trained as if he might be a backup, but I don't know whether that would, if anything would have changed. But yeah, Sanhagen looked great. Jan looked incredible. Um,
Yeah.
135 is such a stacked division as well. There's kind of, I'm interested to see him fight Aljo again. I'm interested to see him fight Dillashaw. There's
I think that was pretty much the championship title match for me, I think.
yeah, definitely.
As much as Jan just dominated. Yeah, I mean, Sterling had a good fight at the first round.
Hmm.
He did very good at the first round, but stamina is part of an MMA fighter.
Hmm.
Stamina and consistency. And man, second, third round in the Jan Sterling fight, Jan just totally outclassed him.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate how it ended, but I really don't think Sterling is on the level of Jan. So I really think that Sandhagen will probably beat Sterling too. I see it that way. So I
Yeah.
mean, I saw it as the title interim. For me,
Yeah.
it's not the interim. It was pretty much the title fight, and Sterling will challenge Jan for the title.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because a lot of people thought in the Dillashaw Sandhagen fight that Sandhagen won that fight as well, right? So it's kind of, that was
Yeah,
quite a
yeah,
close decision. So yeah, it felt
yeah.
normally sometimes with the interim title fights, a bit like, oh, interim, right? But like when they did the whole Francis Ngannou and they did the Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis, everyone was a bit like, we want to see Ngannou. But this fight definitely felt like legit title fight. So, but yeah, as you say, the action was nuts, man. Absolutely crazy.
Unreal. Back and forth. That hole was unreal.
And what do you think about the main event? I mean, Glover, Teixeira coming out, man, 41. I mean, you had your fight with Ants at what, 43? Like, I mean, how much harder is it at that age to
Well,
be
I
active?
believe at that age, 41, 43, you're not necessarily physically at your peak, but I think at that age, the physical digression isn't that bad to a point where you could make up with it with strategy and brains.
Yeah.
And especially when you're a little older, you can control the anxiety, you can control the excitement. So I think that's a good age. I mean, that you can compensate for the lack of speed and power that you've had when you were younger, and you can actually make up with a lot of using your head instead of your mind. My fight with Ants, I felt pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone, I didn't fight that fight to try and come back. I fought that fight because we're going to probably talk about it when we talk about my fight, but I fought it because I just got out of prison and I just wanted to put my name in the media, not being handcuffed by police walking in the media, because I was in primetime TV walking in handcuffs with the media with the cops. So that wasn't the last thing I wanted in the minds of the people in Japan. I wanted it to be as a fight. So that's the only reason why I went. So everyone was saying, "Oh, nice comeback. What's your next fight?" And I was like, "Oh no, it was a one and done, man." I just wanted to get back and get back in the ring and show that I'm back. I'm okay. I'm doing fine. So So 43, 41, man, is still. I think it's still a good age. And damn, Glover showed perseverance. I mean, he's all the problems he had with Visa in the beginning, came back, won, lost, came back, and he had like a roller coaster ride. He kept with it.
Yeah.
And I didn't think he was going to win, honestly. And I do believe he had a flat day, I think. And someone as good as Glover, you can't have a flat day.
Yeah, that's right, man. I picked Yan as well to get it done, just because I thought he looked great in the Adesanya fight, and he definitely seemed like he was sort of putting it all together. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do next. I hope it's Jiri Parachka, the guy from Ryzen. He just
looks like that's what I think. He was in the crowd, and they kind of just kept flashing back to him. So
yeah, he looked really like, I don't know, in the thick of it. Like, not normally they have the fighters sort of like front row. He looked like he was sort of way back at the bleachers.
Yeah, he was. I didn't think he was. I wonder why.
Like, I was laughing. I was like, damn, like, who's sorting out tickets for this guy? But yeah, no, I'm really excited to see that fight. I think more. If I'm honest, I think all my money's on Jiri to. I would have picked him against Yan. I picked him against Glover as well. Even though Glover's got like all that experience, it's kind of, I don't know. He's just.
I think Glover's only chance to get him to the ground.
Yeah, he needs to sort of.
And I think Jiri knows that, and Jiri's a lot younger and stronger, and I think he will stay away from the takedown.
Yeah, no.
So we're already making our predictions on that too, huh?
yeah. It's not even announced. So the big name out of 267 was Hamza Shimayev, who I don't know how much you know about Li Jingliang, but I actually thought it was going to be quite a close fight. I mean, I thought maybe it might even go decision, and Chimaev just picked him up, took him to Dana White, slammed him down, and got the finish. Well, what did you think?
Yeah, Leach is good. Leach is tough, man. Leach is not just tough; he's good. He's a good fighter.
Yeah,
and he just totally outclassed Leach. But with that said, I mean, no doubt his ground is incredible, but I thought he was a little susceptible on the standing.
Okay.
And with some of the good strikers in that division, I don't quite think he's on that level yet. Because isn't that like the Gaetchje Chandler division?
I know it's welterweight, so it's kind of, who have you got there? Well, I mean, this is one of the questions I was going to ask you. Like, who do you think should be next for Chimaev? Because there's all this talk online on Twitter and stuff about how should it be Chimaev versus Diaz, because Nate Diaz has like one fight on his contract. That's the fight Dana's looking to make. And everyone's saying, like, always, are they sacrificing Nate Diaz to make Chimaev a bigger star? But then there's because there's guys in the division. I always like it when they do like winner versus winner. And you've got guys like Bilal Muhammad, I think, who's ranked above him, Neil Magny, who's ranked above him, Vincente, I can never pronounce his name, is above him. And they've also, but then you've got guys like Jorge and like Nate Diaz who are coming off a loss, but they're kind of more of an exciting fight. It's kind of, who would you sort of rather? Would you rather see him one of like the more of the legacy fighters that are kind of a bit more exciting, or would you rather see him go against one of the guys that are maybe higher ranked?
Well, considering Nate Diaz's marketability, I think I would rather see Nate fight, Conor, or Nate have a rematch with Masvidal.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more of a trilogy, or more of like an exciting match. I mean, young boy, up and coming young boy against old school. I mean, that's cool too. But when you think about it, Chimaev is already talking about he wants a title match.
Yeah.
So I think I think the best fight for him is to fight a contender. Go up and fight a contender. So I believe that instead of that fight, I think he should have a contender, Magny, somebody up there.
Yeah.
Oh, and also I made a mistake. The standing looked vulnerable. Not in him. Was the other Russian guy.
Oh,
he fought someone good too, but he just freaking
other Russian guy.
Khabib's training partner.
Oh, Islam Makhachev. Sorry, yeah.
Makhachev. Sorry, I made a mistake. Yeah. I think Makhachev looks really susceptible. I don't think he's at that level of Chandler and Gaetchje, like that. His standing, his striking, his ground's crazy, and I mean, like a Khabib ground once he gets you down. But I don't know, man. I don't know, like someone like Gaetchje and someone like Chandler, that's wrestlers. Their striking ability. I do not think that he is in the level of the top guys yet. Pretty close to it, but not yet. Sorry, it wasn't Chimaev. Chimaev's got awesome striking. What am I talking about?
Yeah. No, it's cool.
I have to correct that.
It's been a while since it happened, right? So, and lots of Russian names on the card. But yeah, well, let's get into the Makhachev fight. That was a pretty dominant performance against Dan Hooker. I was a bit gutted. I wanted to see Dan Hooker.
Dan Hooker is one of the top contenders. Dan Hooker is a legit fighter, man.
Yeah.
And the way he just totally took Dan Hooker down, and when he got Dan Hooker to the ground, man, it just was like a whole different level.
Yeah, definitely. The way he wrenched that arm as well, I was like, oh man, that does not look good. Looked like it was.
But he did look very susceptible in the striking.
I'd be interested to see sort of how. Then people, do you know what people said that about Khabib as well, right? When he had the Michael Johnson fight, a lot of people said
and he was fine his whole career.
Yeah, he just took him down. So it's one of them where it's kind of like, I don't know, like does it even matter if he's susceptible? Because it just seems like they could just some of these guys from Dagestan just going to take you down and keep you down and not get hit. So
and you got to see what you saw. We saw what Khabib did to Gaetchje, that wrestler, how good a wrestler he is. So
yeah. No, it gets exciting. We'll come on to 268, and we'll sort of map out where lightweight could go. But definitely, it seems like Islam is in the top 5, so that makes it super interesting. Where you've got Khabib's sort of protege coming in and taking over. But anyone watching, let us know in the comments who you think Chimaev should go up against, who you think Makhachev should go up against. We're always interested to see what the viewers think, see what their thoughts are on it. But yeah, we kind of, like I said, this sort of theme of the 267 card, right? There was loads of Russians. You fought quite a few. Well, you fought Igor Zinoviev, who's Russian, and then
Igor. The name Igor wasn't good for my career.
Yeah. And then Volchanchin was kind of Ukrainian, but like from that sort of region. Do you find Russian fighters as a difference in their sort of mentality or fighting? And I don't know, maybe their training. Well, what's your impressions of maybe them? And obviously, we're not generalizing here, but you know what I mean. It's kind of there is
the Russian fighters. Approach. I noticed they have this a lot more strength than the normal fighters. They're strong. And I think the big part about them is they have this ice cold personality where they're tough as shit, but they don't chirp like Colby Covington. You know, it's like they're tough, but they don't talk.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I mean, I would be feel a lot more uneasy about a fighter that doesn't talk shit and just kind of looks at me like he wants to kill me than a guy like Colby Covington screaming all kinds of shit, insulting your mother, insulting your hometown, and you know, that kind of stuff. That doesn't really it might piss me off in a little bit, but not to a point where it's like, whoa, this guy's a fucking badass. You know, like Igor just comes in, doesn't say a word, you know, barely smiles, you know, will come and totally be nice and greet me. And it's like he has this real cold, like almost like Fedor. He has this real cold stare that is hard to read. Yeah. And I noticed that about the Russian fighters. They don't talk shit, but they're freaking, I mean, their worst day is, I mean, their best day is some of the worst days in America, you know, as far as the cold that they live in, you know, the living conditions they have, you know. So I think that creates a, you know, a really strong person.
No,
the Russian fighters, I believe the Russian fighters are going to start taking over.
It seems that way. I mean, it really
probably already happening.
Yeah, it felt that way after watching 267. So this weekend, we've got UFC 268, which actually is, well, it's like 2 days your time, but tomorrow for me. Big card, lots of rematches. It's headlined by Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington. And I'm curious to know what's your pick for the fight, and any sort of impressions you have of how you think this one might go.
That Colby Covington Usman, man, oh crap! Because that first fight was the first 3 rounds was up and up, man.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, even I think Colby did kind of rock Usman a couple times. The groin kick was real susceptible, and it was kind of weird. That groin kick really just grazed. So, man, I mean, if I had to bet my money, I'd pick Usman. But you can never count someone like Colby out that can take a punch and has that cardio that he has.
Yeah, he's got insane cardio.
He's got unreal cardio, but you know, I mean, the last fight, you know, the cardio didn't really play a part in the fight with Usman. So one of Covington's biggest strengths is not going to play a part against Usman. I think it's more the striking, you know, and you know, I'm kind of interested to see how the wrestling exchange will be. You know, Usman starts, plays more of a tactical game instead of just standing with him, because I think he said he wanted to stand with him because he wanted to beat him at his own game. He wanted to beat him up or show him that he could beat him up. And he kind of hinted in a lot of his interviews that he's going to be smart, and he still wants to hurt him, but he's going to be smart this time. So I'm thinking he's going to be using more of his wrestling game. Colby Covington's a very good wrestler. Actually, was a better wrestler than Usman in their wrestling days. You know, so I think that'll be really interesting. I mean, I know Usman's going to probably play a smarter game this time, so it's going to pretty much matter on how good his wrestling is going to be against Colby Covington.
Did you realize this? Because I did not realize this. That apparently Usman has never been taken down in his whole UFC.
That's what they were saying. Yeah, that's what I heard. He's never been taken down. Yeah.
I think for me, like, I'm picking Usman, but and that's because I think he's pound for pound best in MMA right now. You've got Shevchenko and Nunes, but just the welterweight division's got that history, right, of where it's like so established. Like the guys at the top are really, really, really like top guys, and you know what he did to Jorge in the rematch was insane. You know, I'd never thought Jorge would get knocked out. What he did against Gilbert Burns, everyone thought Burns was going to be the next big phenom, but he just destroyed him. Yeah, man. Usman, I think, is definitely, in my opinion, probably pound for pound. It'd be interesting to see what he does next, because he seems like he's very sort of financially motivated now. I think he's, had a taste of the top dollar, and because he was talking about like doing boxing Canelo. He wants to do like Canelo Álvarez versus Kamaru Usman, pound for pound versus pound for pound, but I don't know. It feels a bit like a money grab to me. I don't think they're two different sports, right? And Canelo Álvarez is, I don't know. What's your take on that?
I don't think it's a smart move if he's trying to win. But if it's for a money grab, I think it's a good move. But
I think the thing is, he says that there's not much left that excites him, right? Because he feels like, he said that the famous quote is that he's lapping the guys in the division, which I kind of get considering he's doing quite a lot of rematches. So for him, he's kind of trying to look outside the box and go, okay, what's the next, big challenge he could do? So I think it is a little bit of a money. So it's a money grab, but it's also kind of like what else can I do to test it? I think that's why maybe Dana's thinking we need to sort of push Chimaev up the rankings so that you could have that big welterweight title fight between the two, and that would be a great fight. But whether Chimaev's there or not, who knows? So, but yeah, so that's a big one to sort of headline. But yeah, I'm picking Usman. So you're picking Usman as well, right? And the next one on the card is Rose Namajunas versus Zhang Weili. What's your thoughts on this fight? I have to admit the original fight did not go the way I thought it would go. So now my pick is I'm not too sure now.
Yeah, well, I also thought that Weili was going to be overpowering and it was going to dominate Rose, but I think what we always keep forgetting about Rose, because she's such a quiet person and she's really subdued, where she doesn't flaunt any of her strengths. I think what we forget to realize about how good her technique is, her angles of her kicks and punches, her footwork, her movements, her in and outs, and like when she fought Joanna. I mean, Joanna's one of the top strikers in the division, but she pretty much outclassed Joanna in the striking. And then you look at Joanna and Weili, they kind of went toe to toe, and they were pretty much up and up the whole fight. So technically, although I thought Weili was going to win the first match, when I look at Rose and she's making more adjustments now, I think that she's going to have a game plan. Her and Pat Barry work really well together now. I think she's going to probably have a game plan that'll probably pick apart Weili again. I don't think Weili, going to Cejudo's gym, I don't know if that's the type of training that would be good to counter someone like Rose. So Weili's not known for her ground. She's known for her striking. And I believe Rose is smart enough not to brawl, but to start picking her apart again. So, I mean, if I had to put money on it, as much as I love how Weili is and her style and how tough she is, and she shaves off all the hair because she don't give a shit what she looks like, she's going to just come in and fight. I mean, I just think Rose is just a technical level above Weili.
Yeah, no, I'm struggling with this one.
Rose in this one.
I'll go with Weili. I'll mix up a bit. Maybe I think she's gonna get the decision. I don't know. With Rose, I always, because she's had those performances where I've thought like, yeah, she's gonna win 100%, and then the slam knockout, that was always one where I was like, oh, didn't see that coming. So I never feel that confident in picking Rose, just because sometimes she surprises me with what happens in the fight. But I'll go with Weili, just because I feel like either could win. So
Weili, if she does that bum rush like she did with Andrade,
yeah,
she could probably break down any fighter if she starts landing and she goes on that aggression. But the problem, I believe, with the way that she could actually overpower and kill Rose with aggression, I think Rose and Pat are so aware of that I believe that the beginning of the fight they're going to really throw a lot of feints and feel it out and see what she will do. And once they get the timing, I mean, I think she'll pick them apart. We will see.
Yeah, I'm super hyped for that fight. I think it's going to be great. But I think you can't get a better fight than this fight in Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Apparently, it's going to open the card.
That should be the main event.
I know it's going to open the card. Apparently, like
over Usman and Covington, even if it's a title fight.
It's a violence
I
fight, right?
Yeah, I mean, those are the two fighters that I totally love. I mean, they're like my type of fighter, man. That's the type of guys that I would have wanted to fight.
Mm-hmm.
They come at you and there's no bullshit, you know. Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
yeah.
So who's your pick on this one?
I think I'm going Gaethje. I mean, I watched Chandler's Bellator career, and he is really, really good. But I mean, because the Chandler Alvarez fights were always such great fights as well, right? You know, you mix in those guys. But he is susceptible to getting hit and getting knocked out. And there was a point where people thought that, you know, maybe he wasn't at that level, but obviously he came into the UFC and he's proven it with a win over Dan Hooker. But I just think Gaethje, everyone was talking about him as like the next lightweight champ, right? And then obviously Khabib just Khabib'd him. But I still think that he's the same fighter. So, I'm going with Gaethje. How about yourself?
Yeah, for me, I believe, Gaethje, he's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
He's always that guy. He gets hit. He takes hits. He gives hits. He breaks people down with his stamina.
Mm-hmm.
Even, any fight that he's fought, I've seen him. I don't think I've ever thought he had a bad day, even the ones he lost. But like you said, like for me, I watched Chandler on his Bellator career, and the fight that really made me realize that he has a lot of holes in his game is against Primus, a rematch against Primus in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
I was there ringside.
Oh, nice.
Primus, I think. Yeah, the guy he lost to about his foot injury the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, wow. Chandler wasn't, and I think the fight after that too, I forget who he fought, but he showed a lot of holes
mm-hmm.
in his game, and I think that the toughness of Gaethje is he can't make those mistakes. Chandler's a freaking machine, I mean, his physical shape and his aggression, I mean, that allows for an awesome fight. But I just think that as far as you talk about punching power, I think Gaethje has a little bit more punching power.
Mm-hmm.
Speed, Chandler has it, but I think Gaethje has a better chin also than Chandler. Wrestling wise, I think they're kind of up and up. I think they're both really good wrestlers. Stamina wise, I think they're pretty up and up on stamina, but I think the power, and I think the biggest thing is going to be is Gaethje's chin. So yeah, I'm a 400% thinking that Gaethje is going to take this one.
Okay.
And I think it's going to be a knockout.
Yeah, I mean
that's not a crazy guess. It's going to be a knockout.
Not in this fight. No, there's definitely not a wild pick. Yeah, it's lightweight division right now is so interesting, right? Because there's the Oliveira Poirier fight. We've got that coming up. We talked about Islam Makhachev lurking in the back as well. So it'll be interesting to see the result of this one and the result of the next one and how the division progresses, really.
Well, I think this fight is definitely the number one contenders match.
Yeah.
So I think the winner of that will probably get a title match. So
if I had to ask you this time next year, who do you think will be the lightweight champion? Who would you say?
Justin Gaethje.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. You're thinking what? Maybe Gaethje goes on to face Poirier or Oliveira and then gets that win?
I think he's gonna face Poirier. And he's gonna beat Poirier. He's gonna knock Poirier out.
Wow. Okay. Wild.
I don't know. I'm biased, so I just love. I mean, I love
his
Poirier.
Style, yeah.
I love Poirier too because he's such a class act, man. He's like the perfect representative of MMA. His technique. He's a tough kid, but I don't know, man. Something about Gaethje just is someone that I just love, man. The way he is, how honest he is about his comments, and how brutal he is, and how he doesn't shit talk. He just wants to scrap, and he's a beast. The Yamatodamashii in his heart, 100%. How can you not love someone like that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I will. Same question. I'm gonna say Islam Makhachev. I don't know. I feel like just because I think, often divisions don't go kind of the way how you expect to be because of like injuries or interim fights and Dustin's kind of hinted that, you might not do this forever. So I definitely, and then to be honest, I was thinking maybe even Oliveira because I do think he's really, really talented. But I think his chin maybe might be as good in like a Gaetchje fight. But I just think after seeing that performance by Islam Makhachev, I do think that he will take a lot of the division down and get a submission or a ground and pound. So I
actually considered him too, but with Gaethje's wrestling defense, and not just that, just the strike. I think that he's really susceptible in the striking side.
Yeah, and he would have.
I think he'll be shooting for desperation tackles, which is not always the best tackles to do against a wrestler. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. That's what makes this sport so lovely, man. It's you can never bet your house on any of these fights.
I know. You could imagine if Poirier wins and they rematch McGregor and McGregor wins.
Oh God, get McGregor out of here, man. I mean, no, not really. McGregor is awesome to have in the fight game. He's just he's the madman. Put the sport like on a huge platform.
Yeah.
So I love what he's done for the sport. Even his shit talking, man, is pretty. I love it. It's cool.
Even his fighting style, right? His fighting style as well, right? Though, like I used to love watching
his fight. He's an awesome fighter. I mean,
yeah.
In the beginning, I remember, man, and he came out like, oh, that kid's good, but nah, he won't beat that guy. He beats him. Oh, okay, now Mendes. Now he got a real test. He beats him. I mean, we've been fighting a real wrestler now. He beats him. Like this guy, okay, now he beats him. Okay, he's going to move up a different fight Alvarez. Oh, he's going to get fucked now. He beats him. I mean, it's like he just defies everything, man. It's like, holy crap, he talks the shit, but he backs it up, So it's like, I think he's just exciting to have in the sport. Like if McGregor said he's done with MMA and he's moving on, it would be a sad day for MMA. It's cool to have him in the sport.
I agree. Yeah, no, I hope he makes comeback and we see him get mixed up in there because, like you said, exciting fights, whoever he faces. So
he's looking kind of thick, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he's eyeing that 170. You never know.
Yeah,
you never know with him, right? Maybe he's going heavyweight.
You never know.
I mean, those are the top 3 fights from 268. The rest of the card's pretty exciting as well. You've got Frankie Edgar and Marlon Vera fighting on it. So lots of good fights to look forward to. Where are you watching the card? Have you got any plans to watch it?
I'm in Hawaii, and I got ESPN Plus. So I'm definitely going to be watching on ESPN Plus. I'm not sure the exact time it'll be airing in Hawaii. So it'll depend on that if I can actually watch it live or I'm going to have to watch it delayed, but I'm definitely going to watch it.
Yeah.
Where are you going to watch it?
Me, I'll watch it early morning, but it won't cost me. How much does it cost you guys?
Shit, I don't know, man. I'm so bad at this kind of stuff because even though if it does cost me, I don't remember what it is because I don't really put a price on watching these fights because especially a card like this.
Yeah.
I'll pay $30. I'll pay $40. I'll pay $60. I think for me too, it's a part of it is also supporting the fighters.
Yeah.
And supporting the UFC. So I'm more than happy to make a donation,
So BT Sport gets my donation because that we pay like a monthly fee, and then but the thing is, it's like because there's on the UK time, right? It's always like 3 a.m. So it's kind of that's why in the UK they can't really charge for like a card like this. They do it for like Conor, but they don't really do it for anyone else because it's I don't know. It'd be no one will buy it at like that time in the morning unless it's like a huge name. But the thing is that the Ryzen ones I'll buy because I can watch them live. So it makes sense. You get that nice, like, it's different watching it on replay, right? When you're trying to avoid spoilers and stuff. So whereas at least, anything Japan time works out well for us in the UK. So
I'm actually purchasing the event right now as we speak.
approved.
So it's
There you go.
processing my request. I need a login password that I fucking don't remember. Oh, here it is. It'll automatically go in.
There you go.
And we'll see how much I just paid. I just ordered it.
How much is it? Drum roll, please. Dun, dun, dun.
$69.99 American dollars.
Wow. Fuck.
And I just bought it without a hesitation in my hand.
You saw Justin Gaetchje and Michael Chandler.
Thank you for your
There
purchase.
you go. Awesome.
I am watching UFC 268.
Gonna be a hell of a weekend. Any parting words, Enson, before we wrap up this episode?
No, nothing. Just sorry we've been a little busy, and we're trying to find out the right times at the time zone again, time zone switch.
Mhm.
But we'll get back on the road of getting back some podcasts out, and we actually have some really special ones planned.
Mhm.
Some blasts from the past where I met up with a guy that I had problems with, and we're gonna get him to talk about the situation we had. So stay tuned, because we're gonna get a lot of good material coming your way.
Indeed. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Leave some comments, subscribe, like, do all that good stuff, and we'll catch you again soon.